right, Taiji Fencing 101, Part 3. And before we go any further with how to score points or what types of shots you can take or can't take, I think it's best we talk about combat power and being safe with our partner. Now, I do want to let you know off the bat, we have to recommend that everyone that practices Taiji fencing, with a wooden sword especially, we want you to wear the highest quality safety goggles for sport and for eye protection. We want you to wear a mouth guard. We want you to wear a glove on your primary hand and a cup. And what that means is right now we have these cheap glasses that we use. These are safety goggles for construction work generally, and these are not up to caliber for competitive sports. But they do help your eyes a little bit from getting a straight stab in case. Now remember, we never try to stab or hit to the face, but they're there for safety just in case, so no glancing blows scratch across the eyes. So when we have our goggles on, what you're going to notice is you're going to have a different set of focus and different level of vision. So you always want to restart nice and slow when you get started with that. Additionally, if you have a glove, I don't know if you brought one today, but it's cold out, so I made sure to bring mine. And I have a glove for my sword hand for competition or whenever I'm sparring new people. And this way, if you tag my hand, you don't feel as guilty about it, and it doesn't hurt me or make me react emotionally to that either. So now, whenever we're fencing, here we go. If we're in here and he gets into my hand on one of these movements, boom, he tags my hand. I can still feel that just the same. In fact, I think my defense is a little lower knowing I have glove and goggles on. And what happens is now I may not be as good at moving and protecting my hand, but there's less injury. And you'll want to balance this with your partner based on whether or not they're at a contact level that's too aggressive for you. And if you notice your partners are putting on a lot of gear, that means they're either going to attack at a higher impact level, and you want to be prepared for that, or they're reacting to past experiences with you where maybe you fought too aggressively with them. And you want to make sure to walk that line differently with everyone you fence with. I'll be working with Angel much more aggressively in our personal practice than I am right now with him because we're demonstrating for people that are new. And so we want to keep that in mind, that we want to adjust the amount of aggressiveness and speed and power based on the reactions of our partner and the gear we're wearing. So when we get started here, and we're going to fence around a little bit here, we're going to push around, boom, dirty, got my finger, so now we have this gear on and we're hitting each other a little bit and we feel a little bit safer. But notice we're also getting a little sloppier. Now I'm going to take off the glove. He's going to take off the goggles. And now we're going to fence again. Great. And notice there that we're fencing at the same speed, but our control is better because we have this awareness that we have to be careful and protective of each other, not, oh, I'm worried I'm going to get hurt. This isn't about me getting hit. It's about making sure I'm not hurting him. And so my control and my skill and my timing are better whenever I'm more comfortable with my partner, but also whenever we understand the risk of the wooden sword. Now we are using wooden swords, and I like to say we're using wooden swords instead of steel swords. And so that means instead of getting cut, you might get a little bumped. But the wood sword has a nice smooth surface, which is safer for you than a lot of padded weapons that will stick together, and then when enough friction happens, they slip off and someone gets smashed with more force. But the gear there is definitely recommended for whenever you're not comfortable with a partner. So, and in any type of competitions, I should add. And so now what we want to talk about is when is it dangerous? And the most dangerous moments in Taiji fencing are two. One is stabs to the face, which we do not allow. You're not allowed to make contact to the head or face with the stabbing motion. If I accidentally slash across, I'm going to tap you a little bit on the head. If I slash across and tap him in the head, as long as he's okay, it's not a big deal if we're comfortable with that situation. If he's uncomfortable, he should not be fencing with me right now, step out, and then that's excessive contact. But if I make light contact and he's cool with that, and I'm cool with it back, there's no big stress there. The problem is whenever I'm swinging my sword in with control, can you bring your sword up on the outside of my blade? And he starts to block across his face, and as he does, he knocks my sword into him. So let's change angles here. Can you stand at the pillar there? And my sword is here, and as I cut to his face, he flinches to defend, and he pushes it into himself. And so this is the other major chance for injury in Taiji fencing. And that's because the defender is reacting emotionally to the cut, not responding with technique. So what I want you to remember is that if Angel swings his sword at my head, I want you to stop it close, but don't hit me, okay? Don't swing too hard, but make it faster, okay? I want you to swing, and I have to trust you to not hit me. Give me a swing. Right, great. Give me another one. Great. And so I have this trust now. Now, if I don't have this trust and he does that, by bringing my sword in quickly to be flinchy, I'm going to hurt myself. So this is why we don't make attacks directly at the head, because our natural instinct is to flinch, and that causes more injuries than it prevents. I also want you to keep in mind that if you have a low guard and you bring the sword up to a high guard, if he knocks my sword up and blocks my sword, he's pushing my sword up to his face. And we never want to block in towards our face. It's always better to block away from our face. So if he stabs at my face, I want to push it away from me, not push it towards me. Okay? So that might be hard to see at this angle. But we're never blocking towards our face, we're blocking away. If you do feel an inward motion to block because you're following the opponent's weapon, then I want you to slow down and recognize that you might hurt yourself, okay? And so let's keep that in mind. We don't stab to the face, and we don't block in towards our own face aggressively. And those two things will keep you safe in most every situation here in Taiji fencing. Now we want to remember the amount of power is going to be related to the amount of speed. So if Angel's pushing on the sword, because Angel's much stronger than me, if Angel pushes on my sword and he has so much power, I'm not going to be able to move his sword around with control because he's aggressive. What happens if Angel starts being aggressively strong? I have to go fast. And what happens when I go fast? His power is then moving fast and someone gets hurt. It could be either of us in this case. So let's keep in mind that if our partner can't move our sword when they push on it, then you are probably being too aggressive for how slow they're going. And we want to keep these two things in balance. The person that's going hard is going to cause the partner to go fast. And then the person going fast is going to cause the other person to go harder and faster. And we don't want to start this cycle. So what we're going to do is if we feel like the momentum is getting out of control, or if we're starting to get a lot of dirty cuts, what Angel and I are going to do is going to cause a separation in the engagement and continue the exchange. So we separated the engagement, but we're in the same flow of energy with no disruptions for points or calls or cuts. And as we move in and out, continuing, because no cuts. And notice Angel took his time when he came up to the headshot there. Got my fingers. I'm in his face, but I'm not making direct cuts at it. Notice my wide shots when aiming high. Notice we're still going because we haven't got that nice clean cut. And we traded to get out of that. I didn't mean to get your leg, sorry. I thought we had a peaceful disengage. Oh, head and groin, nice shot. Let's end on that one. Great. And so notice we're staying controlled. We separate when things are getting a little sloppy or messy. Instead of building up the energy of, I gotta win, I gotta win, I gotta win. It's, hey, let's take a moment and come back at this intelligently, not emotionally or reactively. Okay? Someone gets injured or someone is in a position to get hit with a sword in a dangerous way. I want to make sure we talk about what your reaction should be if you're the one holding the sword. And I'm going to use the example of stabbing while Angel moves in. And I'm going to stab at Angel with a thrusting movement like this. And Angel is going to, let's say his sword is on this side. And as I thrust, Angel's going to step in to the point where if I were on his line, he would be halfway down my sword. Can you come even further closer? Even more even closer. Great. Now look how deep this is. If I were to hold my sword tight and jam Angel in the chest, this is going to be a serious injury. This could really hurt. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go really fast, and Angel needs to trust me for this stunt. I didn't tell him I was going to do this. But I'm going to stab Angel really fast, and it might sting a little, but I'm not going to hold my sword tightly. So the moment I feel his shirt, I'm going to let go of my sword. So as I come in angel, notice I let go and I slid down my blade. Or if I swung at an angel, I'm worried it's going to hit him hard, I let go of my sword. And this way, I'm not contributing more power into my hand and into the cut. So if you're worried that you're about to hurt someone because they block too hard or fast or you got flinchy, just release. Just let go and move backwards and get out of the fight. Make sure you're not in a position to get hit or hurt on their counter swing, but usually when you let go of the sword, it's because you were the one that was going to hurt them, so they're not in that position to counterattack right away. But I just want us all to know that it's best to let go of the weapon than to swing it and hurt somebody. And if you can't remember to let go of it before you hurt them, then you are going too hard and too fast for your skill level and your comfort with your partner. And these are our keys to safety. You have goggles, gloves, mouth guard so you don't get stabbed in the gums or teeth, and a groin protector, and you can fence with anyone that wants to play and generally be safe. Once you get comfort with your partner, you can decide how to add or remove gear based on your goals of your training. But I'm excited to finish this up with you guys when we talk about how we structure points and balance between competitive Taiji fencing versus casual play. And we'll get to that in the next video. Thank you very much.